I am absolutely obsessed with Cult of the Lamb on the Nintendo Switch. It's not very often that I can put 30 hours into a game in the first week of owning it, but I did with this one. I absolutely love it. Anyway, let's get into it. Cult of the Lamb is an action roguelike survival sim. While it features cute little Animal Crossing-like characters, it could not be further from it. The game starts out with your lamb being sacrificed by the bishops of the Old Faith, because they want to keep the one who waits imprisoned, but by doing so they send you straight to him, where he brings you back to life, giving you the crown of power and sends you off to defeat the bishops. In order to defeat the bishops, you need to make your way through randomized dungeons filled with tons of rooms, paths, and enemies. You start each dungeon run with a random melee weapon, the hammer being the absolute bane of my existence, and a curse attack, which can be either long range or AoE. Each bishop is guarded by 4 mini-bosses that you must defeat in order to unlock the final boss. After defeating each mini-boss, you are then transported back to your village, where you can either take care of your camp or start a new run. Once you finally defeat the main boss at the end of each dungeon, you can take their hearts and use it to unlock a permanent character upgrade that will greatly aid you in future runs. You can also redo dungeons after a bishop is defeated, and after defeating another mini-boss, you can go further into the dungeon and collect more resources. Throughout the dungeons, you may find NPCs who wish to aid you by letting you draw tarot cards, which give you temporary stat upgrades, selecting a new weapon, which if you have the hammer, I highly recommend, giving you resources for your camp, or refilling your health. Enemies flash, giving you a heads up right before they attack you, giving you a chance to roll out of the way as long as you're paying attention, which can be quite tricky at times. I can't count the number of times where there was so much going on screen and I wasn't aware of my surroundings, or I didn't see the little guy hiding in the tall grass and had to start a run over. After clearing enemies out of a room, you're rewarded with treasure chests containing mostly gold, but if you're lucky you will receive more tarot cards, skins for your villagers, or decorations for your camp. If you're defeated at any time, you lose 25% of all items acquired during that run, and you're transported back to your village. And just to add another slap in the face, your followers lose faith in you because they see your failure as weakness, which kinda hurts. Speaking of followers, you can save these adorable little creatures throughout the dungeons while they're either being sacrificed by rival cult members, right before they're about to be eaten, or when another follower asks you to save them. Once saved, they are transported back to your camp where you can indoctrinate them and they become a follower. Now you can make them do whatever you need them to do, from working on the farms, constructing new buildings, or praying. Now you need to make sure that your followers have faith in you. And this is where the game can become a little stressful because they are constantly losing faith. Performing rituals is the best way to keep your followers' faith high, anything from dancing around a bonfire to brainwashing them. If your faith level drops too low, followers may start to dissent and start going around telling everyone that you're a quack and they need to get out. The easiest way to deal with the dissenters is to lock them up in prison and re-educate them while the other followers laugh at them, or you can sacrifice them. You do you. Stress really starts to add up when you realize that time is still moving forward and your followers are still going about their day even when you're not around. Meaning that they're still doing their jobs, which is great, so you'll have so many resources collected when you get back, right? Well, yes, but they're also starving, getting sick, pooping on the ground, and even growing old and kicking the bucket. You need to try your best to keep your camp clean, because poop on the ground or a decaying follower will spread disease throughout the village, and your followers will lose faith. You also need to keep your followers fed by any means necessary, by feeding them grass, or even taking someone out in the middle of the night and harvesting their meat, which is horrifying, and I love it. You can also level up your followers, making them more loyal. Loyal followers are less likely to dissent and provide more devotion, which can be used to access more upgrades for your camp. Each time a follower levels up, you earn 1/3 of a doctrine, which will lead up to a new permanent trait for your followers or unlock a new ritual. There are a few fun mini-games that you can play. You can go fishing to collect food for the camp, which kind of plays a little like Stardew Valley, or the Knucklebones dice game, which I have spent way too much time playing. Now, to talk a little bit about performance. I did have some frame rate drops when there was a lot going on the screen, and that cost me a few runs, and it was frustrating because they were in the middle of boss battles. And at one point the game did crash on me, but other than that, in my 30 hours of gameplay, that was really all I noticed. I am 100% sure that I missed something that I should have talked about. I've had a ton of fun with this game, and I cannot wait to see what the roadmap brings, and I will definitely be picking it up. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate it. hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you next time.